It's Monday on YourView. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, I said Mariam. Virginia.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Excellent morning. I'm doing great.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was a very chilled one. I had to restart my life all over again. So, when I get busy, there are some things I drop so that I can achieve the goal at hand. But then when everything is sorted, I now go back to my normal routine. So I'm picking up my exercises, my swimming, my, everything that I usually would do when my life is normal and there's no big project I'm working towards. So I'm also writing out my plans for 2024, setting my goal. I have this week to do that. Once I'm done with that, I move on to the children. Everybody has a target and their goal. Nice. And when I'm done, I move on to Oga. But I'm thinking of billing Oga so that he will take me serious. Because when I'm talking to him, he's always smiling. He will go and execute it too. Right. But he doesn't give me that attention. He just feels, my friend, say what you want to say. But I think I want to draft a proposal for a bill. You pay me, we do your goal setting for 2024.
What's that thing you always do in January?
The care mentorship program. I want to rest it this
There's one
year.
like every month you ask us to do. Yeah, the challenge.
Gratitude, that's January 1st. We start January 1st.
Right,
For that,
How are you doing, Nima?
I'm fine. I had a fun Saturday. So our friend of the house, Auntie Yinka, the D-board stores, the one that gave us the big pillows and those flags, had a snack and shop event at the island at Sura shopping complex. So I went there and it was so much fun. It's always fun having fun with people in their 50s.
Yes.
We're shopping and, they were just chatting in their old school style. I was playing with them. And I took the train, the Blue Rail, finally to the island.
How was the experience?
Being on the rail, fantastic. Well done, Lagos State. Congratulations to the people of Lagos. But getting off the rail and having to find
your way.
Because I'm used to driving to my next stop. I got off the rail at Marina and I did not see the buses that were promised.
Oh, yeah.
So I couldn't find some. I had to walk out or find a way to get an Uber. It was a lot. Coming back there was a lot. But so getting on the rail for me, everything.
So it's just the connections of how to get more buses.
And even at the Doba Junction, that's the Mautu end of it, it was tough finding a way out, I had to do the public bus, and I couldn't even still find the public bus. So
hopefully that's feedback.
I'm hoping that, those interstate buses that were launched, they must have a provision for how they'll park there and how they'll take people.
Let me jump to you, Mariam. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. I had a good weekend as well. Friday, I went for a small cocktail in honor of one of my husband's friends. He had been made a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Architecture. Wow. And then on Saturday, I went for Whisker. I went for the Whisker event.
I saw that on TV.
Yeah, I went for the Whisker event. Lovely event. I mean, the keynote speaker was Mo Abudu, and there were others. There was Hadiza Bala Usman.
Did you go with her?
No, I didn't get to. Events like that, they will be surrounded by everyone. But but I met her a couple of times before, So, and there was my mom's birthday, so I had to rush from there to be with my mom and everyone else. It was a lovely day, especially for my mom, because, this year, my mom has been through a lot of health challenges, and it really shook us. And to see her being well again and healthy, I'm just so grateful to God that, we're able to celebrate this birthday with her. So,
fantastic. I'm so happy about that.
How was the experience?
Oh, yeah, I hosted the experience alongside others. I really enjoyed it. It was really, really a privilege to be at that stage. The energy is different from the top. I think to Pastor Paul, the entire team, and his wife, they were so encouraging. Trust me, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a privilege. And yesterday, I hung out with some 50s too, some 50-plus women. And, it's good to start talking to this kind of level. You get some insights, into life and all that.
There's a calmness around them.
Now becoming
I'm very far from 50. I'm very far.
There's a calmness around them that they are seeing it all. They're just relaxing.
Yeah, it was good.
You too, go reach here.
All right, let me go on a quick break now. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. YourView will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Cash flights persist in banks. ECOWAS sends Togolese leaguer to engage Niger's junta. NDLE arrests groom, 25 arrests for drug at wedding party in Katsina. The Nation is deemed newspaper of the year. FG raises revenue. No, FG raises review panels on 1.5 trillion naira road contracts debt. Tinubu governors to sign health pact with WHO. And 18 killed, 27 injured in crash. Okay, which story are we taking?
We can start with the major headline, this cash issue. Again, they say customers are withdrawing unusually large amount of money from banks and they are depositing less, which is raising fears in the financial circle. So there was a customer survey that was carried out and they showed that customers are complaining over the scarcity of naira in the banks. The queue has moved from the ATMs because they said there's not enough money put in the ATMs into the banking halls. And when they get into the banking halls, the money is being rationed. You're not able to get everything that you come for. And some of them have diverted to using the POS to do transactions. Those ones have also increased their commission from using the POS. And so people are saying that if this is not stopped or something is not done about this, it will cause a lot of issues, especially this Yuletide period. But we know that the CBN has announced that there's enough money in circulation, into trillions of naira. And so they're asking those people who are collecting too much money and hoarding the money that they are not going to stop any of the legal tenders. Everything is still working, so there's no need to collect the money. And some persons are saying that the banks are going into the CBN to withdraw large chunks of money for probably their high retail customers that are coming for that large amount of money. So I don't know what the CBN is going to do about it. Will they stop giving so much to each customer when it comes to cash?
But every year, everybody takes out cash. So what's
for the Yuletide spending?
Yeah, even the top tier, everybody collects money.
But if they say there's enough money in the system, why do we have scarcity?
There's enough for they seek you.
All right.
The federal government committee, they set up a committee, a 6 committees to verify the authenticity of the 1.5 trillion naira debt that it incurred on road constructions across the 6 geopolitical zones. So these committees are for each geopolitical zones, and they're supposed to review outstanding certificate debts generated before and after May 29, 2023, according to the Chief Press Secretary to the Works Minister. What's her name? I think his name, Uchenna Orji. And he went on to say that now all the contractors should come forward before committees that will review them and show what they have. They should come with their request to approach the committees with all the documents to back up their claims from Tuesday, the 12th starting tomorrow to the 22nd of December for these reviews in all the geopolitical zones that they live in. It says that the business of the committee, of course, is to review approved and unapproved variation of prices and all the augmentation that were approved or are yet to be approved and make recommendations to the ministry's management. And the ministry has exposed these debts and all the reviews in the ministry to Mr. President's economic team and also the FEC on road and sector funding. So we knew that under the former Minister for Works, there was a serious funding issue. They had to do sukuk. They had to find ways to make it work. So, of course, some contractors are still waiting to be paid. I hope that after this review, everything is settled because the person deserves their wages.
Yeah, I've got NDLEA. The operatives in Katsina State have disrupted a pre-wedding party which involved a drug abuse competition in the community called Shola quarters. They arrested 25 youths. So they said that the way this happened was that they had mixed all sorts of illicit substances and put a few drugs, mixed it in a plastic bucket, and they were, just having their way, having fun or whatever it is you call that sort of behavior. And the NDLEA had gotten intelligence, they swooped in on them, and 25 of the guests were arrested. The groom wasn't there, but they said that eventually he was arrested as well. I mean, can you imagine how crazy that is? Your pre-wedding party, you throw a drug party. Anyways, they also arrested a member of what they describe as a drug trafficking organization. They said he's a businessman, 44, Emeka Augustine. He first claimed that he deals in copper and wire, but he was arrested coming from Cameroon. And on him, they found 12 consignments comprising 797 pellets of cocaine weighing 17.6 kilograms. So he was as well arrested.
Okay. Let me take President Bola Tinubu and 36 governors will tomorrow sign an agreement that will reform the health sector. the Health Renewal Pact involving some international partners such as the Universal Health Coverage and WHO and the CEOs of Gavi, which is the Global Fund Against Tuberculosis and Malaria, and with Bill and Melinda Gates. So according to the document obtained by the reporter, it says that the agreement will be witnessed by WHO Director General and a few others. The event, the highlight of this year's event in Nigeria is the signing of the Health Renewal Pact by the federal government and all state governments, as well as development parties, to actualize the transformational sector-wide approach to improve health outcomes as approved by Mr. President in October 2023. It says that the President's renewed hope agenda, they hope to specifically invite all these key players to see how they can work together with both the state governments and the President to achieve a better health sector. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, let's move on quickly now to the Punch. Diesel Jet A1 hit market. January petrol delayed. External reserves fall by $520 million in 5 weeks, says CBN. Nigeria's revenue not enough to support development, says IMF. PFAs make 8 trillion naira profit from pension investments. FG to spend 837 billion naira on 2,254 roads and bridges. Niger, ECOWAS panel to resume talks, more sanctions loom. And Ekeredolu, Assembly won't probe signature forgery allegation, says lawmakers. Okay.
So pensioners, there's good news for them. According to the pension fund administrators, they've made a profit or recorded a profit of 7.98 trillion from investing contributions made by workers into the retirement savings account under the contributory pension scheme. And according to them, they've also been able to recover the debt of about 24.8 billion from defaulting employers alone. So, you know, these are people, pensioners' funds, and they are being judiciously used according to the Oga Patapata of the scheme. That's the Chief Executive Officer of Pension Up, Mr. Ugoche Aguda. He said that the workers contributed about 54% of the funds, and the returns on investment accounted for about 46% of the entire pension funds as at the end of June 2023. It's looking good. I'm also hoping that the paperwork for pensioners to get, you know, their remuneration is also good and neatly done.
All right, let me go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the Punch. Any story, Mariam?
Yes, the authority of the heads of the Economic Community of West African States, that's ECOWAS, on Sunday they had a meeting and they have resolved to begin talks with Niger's National Council for the Safeguard of Homeland. It's also known as CNSP. So the meeting was really to talk about a short transition roadmap that will establish transition organs and to facilitate the setting up of a transition monitoring and evaluation mechanism. The committee would comprise of presidents of Togo, Sierra Leone, and Republic of Benin. So we have Torre, who's heading the committee, says that the bloc will either progressively ease the current sanctions on Niger Republic, that's if the junta cooperates with their efforts to maintain current, or they'll maintain current sanctions if, you know, they are not complying with, you know, the efforts of the committee, and they're also threatening to ask AU to also put harsher sanctions on Niger. So it's just really sitting down to give us a roadmap since the coup. And hopefully, you know, there will be collaboration and cooperation so that the people of Niger Republic can have some semblance of peace.
Okay, so Julie Kozak, she's the director of IMF's communications department, and she said that Nigeria is not earning enough revenue to support its developmental needs and plans. The IMF also said that the country's 9% revenue to GDP ratio is very low and not enough to support the country's social safety nets, development spending, and protect its vulnerable households. She was responding to a question at the briefing. He said, as we mentioned in Article 5 consultation, which was held back in February, She specifically said that 9% of the GDP is very low compared to the GDP ratio, and that it's really not high enough to support Nigeria. So hopefully, the target is to increase the ratio of the GDP from less than 10% currently to about 18% within the current term of administration of his administration. Efforts will, however, focus on improving tax administration and collection efficiency. So that's the target they're hoping that the presidency can ensure they achieve.
Yeah, so the major headline, on Friday, the management of Dangote Refinery confirmed the receipt of 1 million barrels of crude oil. And they said that this will lead to the production of refined products at the facility. Nigerians were excited about it. However, they are now saying that they will be producing automotive gas oil, also known as diesel, and Jet A1 or aviation fuel in January 2024, as against the PMS that everybody was expecting. And one of the reasons this is happening is because they got just 1 million barrel, which is not enough to produce even the PMS. They were expecting to have 6 million barrels supplied to them, barrels of crude oil supplied to them, so that they can kickstart the production of the petroleum, the AGO, PMS, Jet A1, and dual-purpose kerosene. That was what was expected. They cannot do less than 6 million barrels. But now that they just have 1 million and they're expecting others to come in installments, I don't know when those ones are going to come. They will only be supplying us the Jet A1 fuel for our airplanes and automotive gas oil. That's all they're going to give us. So we are gas diesel. So we are going to just expect that and hope that the crude will be supplied to them, like the 5 remaining barrels will be supplied to them, and also find a way to get those ones supplied regularly so that we don't have an excuse that they don't have crude to produce for Nigerians.
Moving on quickly now to Daily Sun. Catholic bishops leader attacks Tinubu. Fuel subsidy removal, devaluation of Naira, cause of hardship in Nigeria, says CSOs. Best way to end coup in Africa, says Tinubu. NAF kills terrorist kingpin, others in Niger air strikes. Senators donate 109 million naira to victims of Kaduna drone misfire. 20 days to go, ex-NNPC ED expresses doubt over the Port Harcourt refinery takeoff date. And economy, Ohaneze to partner Southeast MAN. Okay, which story are we starting with?
I have the senator story. So the Senator Godswill Akpabio asked, he requested that all senators, all 109 of them, make a $1 million naira donation each, which totaled to 109 million for the victims of the inaccurate drone bombing that happened in Kaduna. And so his deputy Senate President, his chief whip, and Senator Ali Duma and the minority leader Abba Moro and other delegates visited the state and the Barao Tiko Teaching Hospital in Kaduna to sympathize with victims and also visit the governor of Kaduna State where the donation was made. And, they, of course, totally...
Need or pledged?
No, donated already. And they said from their December salary, 1 million naira each, and they donated the amount to the people.
That's good. Yes, so the Nigerian Air Force said their air component of Operation Wild Punch has eliminated a dreaded terrorist and kidnapped kingpin, Yellow Jambros, that's the name they know him as, and scores of other terrorists in airstrikes in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. We had talked about the Nigerian Air Force. We need to, and their army in general, we need to hear what they do, and I believe that they want to start giving us information now on some of the airstrikes that they carry out. So the NAF Director, Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Edward Gabwet, was the one who made this disclosure, and he said the terrorists made their Waterloo while they were attempting to cross the Jukudna River in Galadima, Kogo district, heading towards the Urukuvi axis of Chikun local government. And they had, come in 13 motorcycles, crossing over to meet other people. So in total, there were 18, and they entered these powerful boats. And they were going to meet other terrorists to carry out their attack. And they took an opportunity because as a result of that Kaduna bombing that happened, they felt the Nigerian Air Force may not be able to do anything in the airspace at the time. So they took an opportunity to go at that time. But unfortunately for them, they were, met and met seriously. And, they caught the yellow Jambros guy of a person who also confessed, because there's been this guy they've been looking for since October 2020. So they found a kidnap kingpin known as Mohammed Sani, who was arrested by the police in Zamfara for murdering over 50 of his victims due to their inability to pay ransom. So he had confessed that this Jambros guy was the one who was supplying him all of the weapons. I'm glad now that they were able to, get him.
Okay, let me take the refinery, because I'm monitoring the refinery, Port Harcourt Refinery. So a former group executive director, Mr. Alex Ogidingbe, was saying at an interview on television that he noted that the refinery, from all indications, would not work this month. Remember, they told us that by the end of this month, Port Harcourt Refinery would work. That's what government has told us. However, an ex-ED, giving his own opinion, say from what he's seeing, though, he doesn't think that would work. And even if it eventually does, it will probably produce only about 25% of its capacity. He said that, recall that the Minister of State had mentioned it, saying that based on, he said that he believed that the government should have actually built a whole new refinery than rehabilitating what we have, because this one was built in 1965 and it has old technology. So he doesn't know how they expect to make it function optimally with old technology. But hey, let us see. The government has said by end of this year, it will start working. Now, if they replace the technology, if they rehabilitated it enough for it to work at optimal capacity, we'll know by the end of this month. But we are holding government accountable that end of this year, Port Harcourt Refinery must work.
He is watching. I'm sure he will tweet now.
Moving on quickly now to Vanguard. Let's find a story of not taking. Manufacturing sector bleeds as Forex losses rise to 400%. Clerk to Tinubu adopts doctrine of necessity to solve Ondo impasse. Controversy over Lagos ownership needless, says Olanrewaju and others. Maritime workers to FG solve Apapa Oshodi readlock nightmare. $792 million trapped funds. Foreign airlines at breaking point may exit Nigeria's airspaces IATA. Coup, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso alliance won't weaken ECOWAS resolve for democracy, says Tinubu. And Kaduna aero bombing, security agencies not on same page, says Governor Sali alleges. Okay.
Yeah, so they said that foreign airlines, strong indications that foreign airlines may be planning to exit Nigeria's airspace because of the worsening operating environment. They said other foreign businesses have already, planned to go this year. The latest one is Procter & Gamble of the United States. They had announced their decision to pull out last week. A few months later, there was another one, multinational corporation, GlaxoSmithKline, also took a similar step. And now they're saying that the key challenge, according to the airline operators, is their inability to raise the foreign currency required for their operations. And over 792 million of their funds are trapped in Nigeria, which is a development that's threatening their operations globally. And they said, how the operations run. They collect Naira from Nigerians and then have to exchange for foreign currency for their own operation. And they're not able to get that, and it's affecting their business. We said countries like UAE have decided not to even come back, even after the intervention of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And another thing is, they were now, so I've heard this story somehow, that when you're traveling to countries, European countries, American countries, outside Nigeria, it's usually cheaper. So you'll be paying like 400,000 Naira tickets to go to maybe America from maybe Ghana or from Kenya and all of that. But in Nigeria, you're paying over 2-point-something million to get your ticket. And one of the reasons they mentioned is the fact that they're paying huge taxes here. They are, all the fees they're supposed to pay is so heavy. Their aviation fuel here is more expensive compared to other countries. Their running cost here is heavy. And so at the end of the day, they transfer it to the citizens. Because we were worried, why do I have to pay cheaper for other African countries? So they said in those other African countries, it's easier for them to do business there. Things are cheaper there, and so it affects ticket prices. But, the government is trying to liaise with them to see how they can help them repatriate their funds. I also think they should also consider Nigerians that are paying so much to be able to travel in how they make it easy for these people to run their businesses here.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. We'll come back once our guest appearance. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Educate is an education, financing, and technology solution designed primarily to provide school fees financing to parents, guardians, and with wards in primary and secondary schools in Nigeria. Joining us to discuss more about this is the Chief Operating Officer of Educate Africa, that's Mr. Babajide Olusesi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
So tell us give us an overview exactly of what Educate's mission is.
Like you just said, our mission really is to improve access to quality education. And we're doing that in two ways, by providing financing and technology to schools and to students to improve that access. The way we do that primarily is by providing tuition financing for parents who have kids in schools from primary all the way to university. All right? And beyond that, we also partner with schools and with other technology companies to ensure that we're getting education to the right, to people where they are in the most financially, easy way possible.
What inspired the creation of EDK and what gap in the market does it aim to address? Is it local financing of schools or, the Joba Japa thing?
Thank you, Nima. So what inspired the creation of EDK essentially is the world around us. I mean, as you're aware, things have gone from, pricing of things has gone haywire. Price that we buy fuel, that we buy groceries, education isn't left out. So what inspired this really was, we thought, how do we help parents? How do we help students stay in school? So what we thought about was, and there are different classes of people in society when it comes to this. There are the guys who are able to fund it, but they have cash flow shortfalls here and there. And there are the guys who are indigent, who, cannot necessarily afford. So what we're doing is figuring out how to serve those two different contingents in the best way possible. So for the first class of people that I described, what we do is help them finance tuition at where they pay us over an extended period. So rather than having to pay at once, we give you the opportunity to spread that across a number of months, making it a lot more easier for you to keep your kids in school. On the other hand, for the indigent, what we also do is try to provide scholarships, grants, and also provide them technology resources that help them, get some form of education so that they're not completely left behind.
That's great.
So what's the maximum amount of tuition financing that parents can get access to from DK?
Thank you, Miriam. Right now, there's no maximum. We've seen quite a bunch of requests from the 100,000s to the millions. What we really try to determine is the affordability for the person who's applying, right? So when you apply for tuition financing, we ask for a few details that help us assess, your credit carrying capacity, your ability to repay. Once we assess all of those and you qualify for the amount you're asking for, we're very happy to oblige.
Yeah, so does Educate collaborate with educational institutions, and who does it benefit at the end of the day?
Absolutely we do. So the one part I've left out of this speaking is we also collaborate with schools, right? So part of what we do for schools as well is provide funding and technology. Now, as you're aware, financing is difficult to come by. So what we do for schools is, if you come on board on our program, we try to project what sort of revenues you would receive based on the number of students you have and all of that. So if you can project appropriately, we give you funding ahead of receipts of those school fees. So for a school, for example, that has maybe 100 students, maybe they take 5K from them every term. Based on that, we're able to give you a portion of that expected revenue so that you can smooth out your operations. Beyond that as well, we also try to provide technology that assists them to improve the quality of education that they are giving to the students. That
Tablets?
well, maybe not tablets, but the technology itself. So applications.
Okay.
One of the we're partnered with Google. They have a partner in Nigeria that we partner with, and they provide some services that enable kids learn outside the classroom. As we know, education doesn't happen again only in the four walls. So our aim is to ensure that as much as possible, we're getting education to people where they need it, not necessarily only in the classrooms.
Do you collaborate with companies also and institutions in support of this? Do you have?
Absolutely. So in some cases, some institutions have brought us on as partners in terms of for employee benefits, right? So maybe they have staff who have kids in school and may require some funding. So we go in there and then, help them provide financing for those people who require it. But beyond that as well, we also partner with individuals. So for example, I assume that you ladies also maybe do some charity here and there. say you have a fund that you want to apply for education purposes, we're able to help you manage that, get the funds in the hands of people who require it, and if you do require, get it back as well, so that so sort of an endowment fund. So maybe you have 100 million naira, you want to apply for education, we give it to people, take it back, and then of course keep.
Are you a bank?
Not necessarily, no.
Not a bank.
Not the bank. We're a technology and finance company.
So I'm worried. Okay. I'm worried about how your subscribers, this Nigeria thing, all these loan sharks now, this is how they give money, but Nigerians don't pay back. So how do you pick your subscribers? How is the selection and eligibility?
Great question, thank you. So, I mean, and that's a problem for every financier, every lender, the problem of having to collect money back. So we have a simple but rigorous process that we use to assess. So when you get on board, when you try to apply, the first thing you do is download the app, which is available on the Google Play Store and the App Store. We provided some details that include your bank statement, your BVN. So we're able to first assess how creditworthy you are as a person. We have algorithms that help us determine how much leverage you currently have, what your spending patterns look like. I mean, it's not a foolproof system, but that enables us to keep out, the people who have the larger propensities not to pay.
So, I think my question is really what sets you apart from other education financing setup like yours, and what's unique about you as well? Although you've mentioned some, but would you like to give us like a comparison?
Absolutely. So for most education financing companies, all that they provide is financing. Now, for us, we go beyond the remit of just providing financing. We provide the financing and technology that enables people to get education. Now, it's one thing to give people money to go to school. It's a different thing to follow through with resources that help them learn and help them, assimilate. So that's what we do. And beyond just financing, the parents or the schools, we also do some social impact work in what we do. We're giving back scholarships and all of those things that enable access to education.
Okay. So if anybody wants to subscribe, maybe like a school or individuals, how do they get in contact with you?
For individuals, it's pretty simple. On the App Store and the Google Play Store and the App Store, you can download our apps. We're also on social media, educate.africa. For businesses, our website, www.educate.africa. Reach out to us from there, and then we take on whatever conversations, whatever collaborations you intend to bring our way.
Good. And so, is there anything else we've missed out so far? Because it seems like this is you've created a business around people's needs, which is a lot of people are sending children abroad, and many people have issues with financing this education. Is there anything else we've not touched on what you do?
I think we've touched on pretty much everything, but I'd like to state that, there are different segments of people who can enjoy the services that we provide, from parents who want to get tuition for their kids. Kids also get access to technology and apps that help them learn. The schools get access to financing and technology as well. But beyond that, we're also able to bring other stakeholders into the mix. So like I said, individuals who want to help finance some kids, or companies who want to do that can also partner with us. So putting all the stakeholders within the education system into account.
Let me ask you, in case of demise, maybe a father was paying using your facility and the child is trying to get his money, do you have plans for just in case the funder is not available? Is there something that you use to support the person, or that is based on the ability to pay every time?
Yes, so typically it's based on ability to pay. Yeah. For us right now, it's important that we keep that flow going. We put out funds, it's important that we get it back so that we can continue that cycle. However, if somebody were to die whilst they have a facility running with us, we have systems in place to ensure that we don't have any recourse to the family. We're able to take care of ourselves.
I thought the question was, if somebody wanted to create an education fund, for instance, and like a trust. A trust.
Yes.
Can you handle that so
Absolutely.
that when the person passes on?
Absolutely.
Sure,
to administer the trust on the behalf. Absolutely, we're able to do that.
Okay, that's all we can take. Thank you so much, Mr. Lucius, for joining us this morning.
Very much.
And wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. On this segment, we have the victim of forceful prostitution and illegal trafficking to the United Arab Emirates. One or two of them will be sharing their harrowing experience for other child ladies out there to learn from their experiences and traumatic past. Joining us, one of them speaking with us is 26-year-old Blessing Tunde. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you.
It's good to have you on the show. And one of the reasons why it is important for us to have these kind of shows is to bring another focus on the issues of trafficking, because whether we like it or not, it's still happening. People think that many have heard, people have been told, but somehow it's still happening. And young girls are still being recruited and taken to these countries. Families are still encouraging their daughters to be taken away. So that's why it's important for us to have somebody who has been through that experience to share with us what happened, how it happened, and how she's rehabilitating. It's been 4 years since you were trafficked and you're back in Nigeria. Please call us on the numbers on your screen, 081 07641679, 09024163440 to join the conversation. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourView so we can read your tweets. Listen, let's start from the very beginning. Tell us what happened in the beginning. Where were you? Who told you first about traveling? And how you spoke to your family? And tell us the beginning. How did it happen?
Okay. The beginning, I'm a stylist. So there's one of my friend, Sandra. So she was in Dubai there. She's also a stylist. So she told me that there's an opportunity. She's working in a salon there, that she want me to come. I was like, are you sure? She said, yes, that she's very sure. So along the line, she gave my number to the guy. So the guy chatted me that I'm going to take an oath before I went there. He said, I can't take an oath.
So this guy, was he in Nigeria or was he there?
He was there.
Okay.
So I said, I can't take an oath. So he said, he can't carry me like that. But for like 3 days, he now called me that it's fine now, we can prepare everything. So he did the visa, the passport.
So you agreed to the oath?
No, I did do it again. He agreed that I will not do it.
You don't have to do it, okay.
So he did the visa, the passport, everything. So I came to Lagos, stayed with one of our sisters. From there, I went to the airport the next day. So when I get to Dubai, he's promised that he's coming to pick me at the airport. So when I get there, I called him that I'm here. He said he can't come, that I should give a photo to the taxi, that he will talk to the taxi where to drop me. So I now look for a taxi. I give the taxi the phone. So he talked to the man. I don't know where he told him to bring me to. So along the line, when he took me there, I was in my period that very day. So I met with a girl. There's one girl, Ifinanya, that came to pick me. So when he picked me up, we went to the room. I see like 8 girls inside the room. I was like, where is Sandra? Because Sandra that introduced me to this guy. And where is the guy that brought me here? The lady said I should not worry, that's why it doesn't matter now. That I should get ready. We are going to meet my boss. I was like, okay. So when I prepared, we went there to our building. I met a man in the room. I was like, this is not the boss that I saw his picture. This is not the same person. He said it doesn't matter. So he dropped my bag. Along the line, the night, the man was trying to sleep with me. I was like, sir, I thought they said you are my boss. He said he's not my boss, that he has paid ahead before I came. So that he's going to be the first person to sleep with me. I was like, sir, this is not the agreement we made. We make an agreement that when I came here, I'll be working in the salon. He said, that is just a scoop so that I can form victim. I was crying. So I was not like, I can't do it. The man said I must do it because he has already paid since, even before I came. So he called the girl. The girl now came to the building and...
That's it for Naya?
Yes. She was like, blessing. It's a normal thing. Oh. There's no stylist. Even the Sandra that told you she's working in a salon, it's a lie. Right. She's doing prostitution in the area. I was crying. And I would tell the girl that, let's assume I want to do this. I cannot do something like this with my period. She said, that was a small thing. I said, how do you not want me to do? I can't do this. She said I should follow her. That I follow her to the bedroom. So she put cotton wool inside my body. I said I should use it for the man, that the man will not know that I'm in my period. I said, I can't do this.
Hey.
So even when I came to the room, the man was trying to force me. I said, I can't do it. The man later forced me. So after everything, the man saw blood. And the man was angry. He even beat me up that night. He said, how can you sleep with me, bro? I said, I told you I'm not going to do this, but you forced me to. So the man almost dragged me out of the house that night. So I slept in the chair till the next morning, where the lady now came to pick me. Yes. So when he picked me, I was like, how do you want me to do this? Now, I can't do this. He said that if I'm not going to do it, that my family is going to pay 4 million naira, which the agreement we made in Nigeria was 1.5 million. That when I get there, when I'm working in the salon, they will be deducting it for the salary. So I said, my family...
Okay, so let's pause for a second, be sure. So when they approached you in, where Edo, right?
Yeah.
Your family was aware that this man, they were not aware. So who promised the 1.5 million naira?
The man told me that I'm going to pay, and I agreed.
Okay.
Because he said that I'm going to be working in a salon.
Okay.
That will be giving me small out of my salary.
Okay.
They will deduct the money. That is why I agreed.
So I want to know, at this point now, you have not met the Sandra?
I met him. I met her once.
She just appeared once and then told you that that's how...
And when you
Yes,
saw
she-
Sandra, what conversation did you have?
So I asked Sandra, why do you force me to this? She said that is the only way she can get me to come. That if she told me that this is what I'm going to do, I would have not agreed to come. And the reason why she forced me to come was that the guy that brought me was her boyfriend and wanted to exchange me to her own madam so that she will be free. Oh. But when I came, the Ifinanya is the girlfriend that everybody knows. That one did not accept. He said that I must stay with her. I paid the money. That is why the whole thing was complicated.
So she used you to swap for herself?
She wanted to swap.
She wanted to.
But it didn't work.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
So how did you make it out of all of this? How did you get back?
Okay.
And how long did you stay in this
I
business?
stayed a year and 2 months. So when I was staying there, the man always took me to pit. That pit is like desert, where you stay in a cooperated building. So they will bring men to sleep with you, but the man will be outside collecting the money. So he might collect like 20,000 naira. If you say it's 1,000, that is what he will mark. So along the line, the guy was like, you want to sleep with me? I said, sir, even this what I'm doing is not intentional. It's because I don't have a choice. He said, you want to sleep with me? And even if he does, I will still pay him the money. And I heard some other girls say that once a boss sleep with you, you are not to pay a dime. And he still says that I will pay. So when I refused, the guy frustrated me, said Curtis to beat me up. He seized my phone. So when he seized my phone, he was now calling my family, my friends, chatting them. So people were calling me, blessing, your number, why are you chatting me like this, threatening? Even my family, they were, even because of this old thing, my mom have BP. So when I now beg one guy in my flat to please, let me to beg my boss to please release my phone. I don't know that the guy, all of them are working together. So when we got there, they know each other. So the man said, okay, the guy said, if it's that, let's see the amount I have paid. The guy just tear the paper in their presence. Said that I have not paid a dime, that I'm going to stand for square one. Since I'm proving stubborn to sleep with him.
I need a picture. Are these Nigerians? Or these are different people?
It's Igbo guy number.
So the man is Igbo, he's a Nigerian?
Yes.
Yeah. So now, the other women, how many of you were in that room, uncompleted business?
We were like 8, but later I left that room to another place.
Okay.
That was because I met one UAE man that liked me. Okay. So the man rented a one-room apartment for me.
Okay.
That was the reason why the whole issue came up. My boss thought I'm the one that rented the room.
Okay.
He said that you have not finished paying my money, you are renting an apartment. That is why he seized my phone.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you are not...
Can I ask if in that, sleeping with the different men that they were organizing, did they allow you to use protection?
Yes.
Okay, use protection.
Protection also.
Yes.
Okay. So if you were while this was going on, did you try to get in contact with authorities? After all, you met someone who took you somewhere. Did you reach out to anybody to try and help you?
I wanted to.
Okay.
But the guy told me that even if I did, the police will not do anything because those same police are still sleeping with girls too. They are still patronizing. So all those were there and even sent to the police. Like that, my boss, he has a lot of CID friends he always settled them every month.
For CID?
So that in case of anything came up, they will cover up for him. That is how I do it.
If it was that difficult reporting it, what body is in Dubai seeing to, the illegality of this?
Like,
how did you even get out? Who did you now
How
talk
did
to?
you get out?
I talked to one of my friends. Her name is Faith. So I tell her that I want to come back. So before then, I wanted to renew my visa. My boss refused. So he said that the money I want to use to renew, that he needed it. But he gave me like 10 days to find the money. I said, how can I get this amount of money in just 10 days? So from there, he gave me my passport that I should go and renew. But before that 10 days, I could not meet up to the money. So remaining 50,000. And I begged him to borrow me, I will pay back. He refused. He said that he that brought me here does not have a visa for 7 years, that police have never harassed him. That me too, I can survive like that. I said, me, I'm a lady.
Yeah.
So I can't.
Let me cut you for a second, because the objective of this conversation, because many of these things you said, I mean, you've done them in several interviews, but it's important that families get the graphic representation of what happens. Because many just think somebody has survived it, you can also survive it. They encourage their family that if one person can do it, you two can do it. If Naya can be successful, she's doing it, she don't die, she's doing it. But I want you to give us an idea of your daily experiences. So you wake up in the morning, you are driven to the uncompleted building, or that's where you live?
No, I live in my house.
Your house?
Yeah, but in the evening, once it's like 4 p.m.
They pick you up?
Yes, they'll take me to that place, that pit, to go and walk. We walk till sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning.
Like how many people are you forced to see, to sleep with?
It's countless, because it depends on how the customer came.
What's the maximum you've done in a day?
Like 40, 50.
A day?
Yes.
Hey.
Once we will be happy because he's making a lot from it. And you will not even know the amounts they are paying. Your own is just to work, while he will be at the gate collecting the money.
So the people that patronize, are they, what caliber of men are they?
Nigerians,
Are they Nigerians? Are they mixed?
So Nigeria, India, Pakistan, all of them. Both the UAE people themselves.
We'll go on a break.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have our guest in the studio, Blessing, today. I know I have Martins on the phone to you, then I'll come to you. Good morning, Martins. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, God bless you. I want to ask that girl, which country is he doing that in the pit? Because I was there. I am there before. I live in Africa and I live inside them, and I know how they operate it. I've been saying it, that is not how they operate it.
So she was UAE, I think.
I'm waiting for customer.
Hers was UAE.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hers was UAE. She answered that question already. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That is other country, Abi?
Yes, not. All right. Thank you very much, Martins.
Okay, I want to ask, right, we're heading somewhere, which is how you finally left. So on what day did that happen? Can you just take us right there to maybe a few days and the day you left?
Okay. So when I decided to leave was after my boss teared the book that I'm going to restart. So one of my friends told me to start paying again. I said, even if I pay this money, this man might still tear the book. So anything can happen. I don't want to restart. So there was this girl that I told that I want to go back to Nigeria, but I don't have money. She said that amnesty is on because she was there before me. I said, okay, how do I go about it? He said it's free flights. Like, if you want to go back, you are tired. I said, okay. So on one Sunday morning, after that time, they called me that my son is not feeling well. After I set money, pay house rent.
You had a son in Nigeria before you left? Okay.
So after I pay everything, so I told my boss that, please, this is the only money with me, 60,000. He said that is not our agreement. I can't bring 60,000 in a week. What can 60,000 replace? I can't bring 60,000. So that was the day the girl called me, that the amnesty is today. Okay. They want to take people along today. She too, she's going. So I say, okay, how will I live here when my boss, his building is just one building to mine? She said I should just arrange my bag. She will come and help me to pick them. So when I was going, I met my boss on the way. He asked me where I was going. I said, I'm going to the supermarket. I want to get some things. He said that his money should not pass 4 o'clock. That if he passed 4 o'clock, I will not like what he will do to me. So I said, I will come by 4. So that's why I went to the place. I stayed there. Then the agent said I'm going to pay him 30,000 naira, which I was having 60. I give him out of it. So that my friend went, I helped me to bring my bags. So they took me to one place like that, like an hospital. They want to do COVID-19 test there. So I stayed in that place for like 3 weeks because the result was not out. Even when I was there, my boss was threatening me that he came to my room, cannot find me. I said that I'm not around. He said I should bring his money. If I did bring his money, what he will do to me? He started chatting my family, sending them pictures of Juju, that if I did bring his money.
So even while you were at that amnesty place, there was no one you could trust to tell them what you had gone through?
I told someone. I told one policeman. I explained everything to him. He said that I should not be afraid, that even my mother cannot come to that place without my permission. He cannot enter. Okay. So even if my boss came, he cannot have the access to come inside. Yeah. Okay. So that is why I will have the courage to stay there till when my results come out. That's why.
After your result, what happened?
They said that I'm free, so I don't have COVID-19. I can go. That's why they took us to airports and bring us to Nigeria.
Wow. Let me take this call. Good morning. Thanks for calling. I'll come to you, Nima. Hello? Okay, I thought I lost it. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was wondering, during the time you were working for your boss, you know, some sexual preferences would have gotten you some form of injury. Maybe you mentioned that you were being beaten. So how do you get treated? Do you use any public hospital, or was he...
You can't go to hospital in UAE unless you have Emirates ID. That is when you get to hospital. It's on time. They normally do this agbo in container for us. So you use it. That is how you manage to treat. Or maybe you just find someone that will help you to buy drugs in pharmacy that have Emirates ID. Without that, you can't go, or they might arrest you.
So what's your...
While you were there, can you tell us like the age range of girls that were there? And were they only girls? Were there boys too that were trafficked?
Boys are not trafficked. Okay. It's mostly your girls, for like 18 to 20, 22. Because once they know that your age, you are more than those age, they'll be afraid to take you because they talk you might run away with their money. So they like going for young girls.
Young girls.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to know how you were being treated when you were working there. What's your eating habits? Were you giving...
They don't care about your feeding.
So who sorts the feeding?
I did everything myself. There was one guy, yes, there was one guy, Obina. He's in Nigeria now. That is the guy that normally bring food for me. He was the one that even helped me to keep my passports. After my boss was trying to take it back, that guy always cook food, bring for me. Sometimes give me money, buy provision, food stuff for me.
Then when you met the Uyibo guy that you claimed helped to rent an apartment for you, did you explain your situation, and was there any form of help that he rendered to remove you from there?
No, because he was doing the same thing. So
he just like
customer. He just like me, like he don't want me to stay in the room. The population is too much because he's a shy type. He can't come there.
How many people in that room? 8, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is why he rented a small room for me.
Let me take this call from Odipo. Good morning, Odipo. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah, madam, good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Yes, I just want to tell you that what this young lady was saying is true and confirmed. Because I stayed in Dubai for like 7 or 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, madam, good morning, ma'am.
You're listening to the TV. We can hear you. We heard you the first time.
I just want to comment that what she was trying to say, everything is 100% confirmed.
It's true.
Because I worked there for like 7 years before all this visa restriction happened. Okay. So when you go to there in Dubai.
He's listening to the TV. I have to cut that off. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Oh, God.
He's watching TV. Okay, yes, go ahead.
When you got to Nigeria, you know, knowing all that you have and you know faces and names to these people, did you seek any kind of help with NAPTIP or any of these agencies, you know, to try and take it up?
I don't even know anybody to talk to. That is just it. I don't know anybody, apart from my mother. So that is the only person I talked to. Because when I came back, she was very sick. They said she had BP because of the old stuff.
Yeah.
So that is the only person
So how did you get from there and then coming on TV? Why did you come on TV?
The reason why is that I even have one of my friends that still went there. Okay. They don't believe all those kind of things. They think.
Oh. Okay, so when you came back, they don't believe your story.
Yes,
okay.
they still went. Even now she's back, she's in Lagos.
Okay.
Because she don't believe me when I told her that this is what is happening there. She told me that she will not go again there because they lied to her that she's going to work in a supermarket. So she said, it's true. The girl sent her picture. When I said, that is the same thing Sandra did to me. She said she don't believe. She go. So when she go now, she now came back and tell me that, that you say is true. She was not even up to 6 months there before she came back.
So it seems like when the girls are there, they are not tied down the way where they can't leave. Like this girl came back in 6 months. So, but you decide I mean, what is it like? They tie you down or how they don't allow?
You can't leave without your passport. That is just.
So they take your passports.
Yes. Even if you went to airport for amnesty, if you don't have passport, you can't go.
Bring you back.
So
that is it.
So they usually seize your passport.
So that
yes.
In that year that you were there more girls like joined in, or was just you girls?
Yes, many were coming. Many girls.
From Nigeria?
Yes, every day. They'll bring girls every day.
Wow.
So that is what it.
Let me take this call. Damola, thanks for calling. Damola, you're live.
Thank you, Morano. Good morning. You guys are doing a very good job.
Thank you, sir.
Morning.
What that girl is saying is very true. I happen to have been in Abidjan, in Cote d'Ivoire. Sometime I worked there for about a year or so. The journalist in me, when I went to the Nigeria house, the Nigerian embassy, made me inquire about our girls, how they were doing. And then I was given all those places, all those dark spots or what was flash points, you know. So I was working with a company there. So every night I would go to one place. I pretended I didn't understand English. They would speak French to me. And I heard them, the ones that spoke Yoruba, the ones that spoke Hausa, because I speak Hausa very fluently. I understood them. So one day I called one of them. I asked them, you know, they downloaded everything to me. The thing is so pathetic. It's so pathetic. One of the girls told me that she was taken there at the age of 14, that she didn't know a man, she was a virgin there, and so on. And the very pathetic part of it was that I tried everything possible to dissuade them from doing the same thing to other guys. They vowed they would do it, that they would come to Nigeria, they would come and look for other girls and make sure that they did the same thing to them. When they take them there, they feed them. They feed them rapidly so as to make money fast. I wonder why a fellow Nigerian should be so wicked to a Nigerian, for goodness sake. Have a lovely day.
Thank you very much, Damola. Let me go on a short break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing this human trafficking business. We've heard from Blessing, who shared her own experiences with us. We'd like to open our phone lines to Nigerians to call us 081-076-41679, 0902-416-3440. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. And the conversation really is about, we've heard from a victim. What suggestions can we give to governments? What advice can we give to society in how to curb this continuous trafficking of young girls? Mariam said something earlier about exposure. When these kids are not, they're looking for those who are vulnerable. What can we do to begin to educate? And I know we're doing something here by showcasing it on the show, but what else can be done?
So for me, I want to just talk about the things I have, just garnered from conversation with her, is that we need to do better about sensitization, grassroots sensitization. She was 22 when this happened. She had never had that conversation. I was much younger when I used to hear stories like that. It was said in schools, your mommy will pull your ear, they will give examples. And she is much younger than I am. And at 22, she had not heard it, I don't know her background that well. Maybe I had my circumstances may have been better because I had education. Maybe better because my own family, I was surrounded by people who were educated and exposed, So we need to look beyond people like me to people like, regular Nigerians, grassroots,
Mariam,
no access to education.
Let me add a bit to that, because that's a major issue.
It is.
real grassroots conversation is not happening.
Yeah.
You know what we do? We get a conference, big first ladies, everybody, all these big women come to this nice eco hotel summit. We sit down and we put all the data. Can you got 1,000 women are doing traffic? This is happening. All these lovely, flowery conversations.
Yeah.
But the real victims, nobody is communicating to them. We are just sitting now in the summit.
And these wicked people know exactly, because they are watching, they see where government is, and they see where government is lacking, and they go to those places where government is not reaching. So we need to be a step ahead. Then secondly, many times when we've heard stories about girls who have done this, we just assume these were greedy girls who wanted more, who really wanted to sleep around. But this was a girl who was working. And she thought she was going to work. She was not planning to do anything like that. Thirdly, she was pulled in by a close friend. I mean, like, she did everything that could. How? You know, how else could she have saved herself? You know, so those are the things, those are the loopholes. So we need to, and I used to hear that as a child too. Don't trust any friend. Don't, you know, it was because of things like that. So these are the places we need to look at as a society and as government to reach Nigerian vulnerable people.
Yes, go ahead, Emma.
So while I was young, my mom used to say the story of how a friend can get your drink spiked, drugged, and you should never leave a drink, no matter how close with a friend, or you allow a friend open a bottle for you. So growing up, I thought it was impossible, and I had gone with a friend somewhere to her friend's house. On getting there, I saw it was a house full of males. And she suggested to leave me there. She dared suggest to leave me there. I was 16. She dared suggest that, maybe you are here with Ireti, you will be fine.
What?
My mom had sent me on an errand, and so we'll meet at home. This is me, whose parents, I was a very guarded, I had a very secured, sheltered upbringing. My parents knew dates, time, places that I went. And I had suggested to my mom that I did not have any form of freedom because they didn't allow me go out. And so this particular one time, they decided to allow me accompany a friend out. The friend took me somewhere in Iwaya and decided in this big mansion, the gate was higher. I kept saying, this gate's too long now. I person want to take, if anything happen, I want to take run.
How?
You know, I was just joking outside. She smiled. And then when we went in, they asked me to eat. I just said, okay, no, I don't want anything to eat. And she said, my mom had sent me on an errand, I would meet you there. So I started to just play smart. I found a way to get out. I insisted I would accompany her to Unilag where she said she wanted to do something, and then I would come back with her friend. So I carried my bag. We got to Unilag, and I said to her, God will punish you. And I took the bus. She took a bus, I took another bus. Sadly, I didn't have enough money. She promised she would fund that trip. That was a 16-year-old mistake. But when we got back home, she spread the story that I acted as if she set me up to be raped. I didn't tell anybody what my eyes had seen. Until I started to hear outside that I was acting suspiciously. I said, oh, this person is not a friend. So sometimes with our parents' stories that look so many stories, life is different. Life will show you different. I was just a lucky girl. Something else, this kind of things happen here.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me take this call from Pastor Abraham, I believe. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Pastor Abraham.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
All right. I want to sincerely appreciate the good work that God is helping you to do for us. I sincerely appreciate.
Thank you, sir.
I sincerely appreciate. My heart was bleeding when Blessing was narrating Ordeal. My heart, even as a man, I was putting myself in her shoe. A husband and wife, they don't have sex every day. Even if they will do, it is from pleasure and agreement. Talk much when a woman is being humiliated every day. However, I wish Blessing is still in the house. I've been trying since. Number one, we need family grassroots sensitization. And this starts from each family. Let the parents sensitize their children, especially the feminine gender. Number two, we need religious sensitization in churches, in mosques. We need it.
Unfortunately, I was online the day you handle one pastor lady that was telling our lady, make up, do this, blah, 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 make yourself shy. I was glad that day the way you responded to it. I couldn't make it through that day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Go ahead, VPC.
This just points to the fact that we need to educate our children. And I know that they say sometimes education is expensive, not everybody can. And that's why we have organizations, we have the government trying to give free education, we have non-governmental organizations, everybody's just trying to see how we can make sure that our girls and our boys are educated. The idea with education is that it broadens your horizon. So you are able to make informed decisions when you're met with choices that you have to do on a day-to-day. Most of the people that I've seen that are victims of this are people who did not have proper education at the end of the day. So they were easily deceived by things that they could have easily verified or had family members verify for them. But because there's no education, and this idea of the fact that it's greener on the other side, we need to educate our people out of it. There are people that are suffering all over the world. You just know where you are and you think it's better on the other side. You'll be shocked by the time you get there. And when you get there, you don't have family. You know, in Nigeria, there's no support. In Nigeria, if anything is happening, you can run to a friend's house. You can run, call your mommy. You can call your daddy. When you go to an unknown place and there is no support system, you find it difficult to survive more. So we must ensure that our children are educated, at least the basics, which is the primary and the secondary education. Once they have that and they add it with their skills, that's greed of, or not even greed, that's a fact that I have to go out. So we were all ambitious growing up, right? But what we saw was asking ourselves questions we could solve here. There was no desperation to go somewhere else to solve the problem. This poverty too is another major issue, that a lot of young people take it upon themselves to fend for their family instead of the other way around. What we are used to, the normal thing is that the parents will fend for their children, protect them to a certain level where they can stand on their own 2 feet. But poverty reverses it in such a way that even the child is worried. How do I buy drugs for mama? How do I do this? How do I do? And they resort to that desperation.
Let me take this call. Ade isn't holding on. Good morning, Ade. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah, good morning, Norayo.
Good morning, sir.
It's my first time getting to you. When the lady narrated a story, my heart was cutting. One, I would say from the family, train your child in the way of the Lord. So I think as a Christian, so that they won't be very afraid. Two, who are the friends of your daughter or your children? Do you know them? You just know your children very well. Did you study your children very well? Who are their friends? Then the people that took them away from Nigeria, they can be tracked. Because their name is known. If they can't even catch them over there, they can catch them here in Nigeria. They will surely come back to Nigeria to come and take another field.
Thank you very much, Ade. Nima was going to say something.
Education doesn't necessarily, inform or prevent anything. Why I'm saying that is that in such a case, she speaks well. She seems a bit educated. But even the least educated person, I know someone who speaks no form of English, but she has so many stories of wisdom she shares with her kids. If a child were to come to them and say, it's our brother is the next mission, your job as a parent is to probe how this journey is going to go.
Yeah.
What exactly did they tell you are going to do there? How? When? And you are supposed to also share with your child the fear that there's this possibility of being abused in any other place that you go. The videos coming from these Arab countries about our girls being thrown out, set ablaze alive, are not welcoming at all. They are not. They are scary enough. And a parent you will see them. Your child can be young and naive, but you, as a mother, would have said, I see one for news, so because they come out.
Yeah.
People talk about their experiences. Blessing just left here now. A parent is watching. And tomorrow the child will say, no, it's abroad or nothing. And the parents will be looking. Do you need another story to inform your child? Do you need a degree to tell your child that it might be things like this are possible, so that the child is making that decision with a balanced mindset that I don't want this to happen to me, so I might not be going because I don't have the security I need?
Let me take this call from Olu. Good morning, Olu. You're live. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Morning.
Everyone in the street. Yeah, my name is Olu. This issue of trafficking, I experienced, I saw this lady, some of them going on last month. And I think our government is not doing anything regarding that. When it comes to trafficking, it starts from from the airport. I have something to do with the United Nations last month, precisely. And this lady was calling their agency, as in the agent, that they are not allowing me to board, so I think I'm doing something to that. And I think if our officers working at the airport can start from there, investigating those ladies. And these ladies, they are actually from particular side, from Southwest. And when we got to the issue, they slept at the airport in the cold weather. They didn't allow them into the city. Some of them boarded that same night they go as far as this terrorist country, Afghanistan. They go as far as Afghanistan to go and do this job. I'm just begging our government to please start stopping these ladies from the airport, because you will know that these girls are for trafficking, but nothing more. And it was so obvious that very day. I was tempted to talk to one of the officers there that these ladies are taking them out. They can't even express themselves.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Olu. I was thinking about something, because when Blessing said that, she had no idea, and I'm thinking to myself that, is it possible some of our agencies work with airlines where before you take off, especially for international flights, there's got to be some kind of public announcement that, okay, this is a phone number you can call just in case you're going to a country, you're not sure you have, there's got to be something that is a public service announcement. We're flying into Korea today, and just in case we have this, because of the data we're having from NAPTIP, this is the data we have. If you're not sure if you get stuck in your country, this is the phone number to call to reach out, so that public announcement goes across all our airlines. So young girls who are like this, who are naive, who have never in their life thought there's been this decision, have a phone number they can call, at least reach out. I'm here, the person who told me to come, I can't find them, I'm stuck here, please come and get me.
Yeah, we had a conversation one time here. I can't remember if it was here or outside this, the table.
Yeah.
Someone was saying that sometimes they're able to recognize that some of these girls are in the process of being trafficked at the airport. But, they have their papers, they're old enough, and, they will tell you they're going for work, but that some of them will call them aside to warn them. But imagine if most of them were like Blessing, who truly believed she was going to go to work. So if you were to stop her at the airport going, she still won't get it, because it will be, I am not in that situation. But that she came out today and she spoke, I believe strongly that so many people would hear her story, would see her face and understand that this is a reality out there. BC, you mentioned we need to do better educating our children. I mean, even if it's not the four walls of the school, our parents should do that. But I think in Nigeria we have a backlog of uneducated Nigerians.
Yeah, plenty.
Then now we have parents who are not aware that they are unable to educate their young ones, their children. So we have a lot of work. Every time we're screaming here, no education, our children are not going to school, it's not just because we're talking about lack of food and being poor. It's the impact, the economic and social impact it has on a country. We cannot afford to be living our life 4 year in, 4 year out, and just leave Nigeria the way it is. This has become an epidemic. Today it is a Blessing you may not know. Tomorrow may be someone related to you. And it will just be because she did not get the right education or exposure to protect herself. Yeah. We need to do better as a country.
Yeah, so one of the reasons I also mentioned education is, we have people in Nigeria, women in Nigeria who were not forced into doing this, who do it as a business, right? That education now means that you will not be taken unawares because you would have checked all the boxes. And if you now want to do it because we cannot rule out the fact that some people actually want to do it, even with the help of their parents who will say, go there and send money home and make our lives better. We have that category of people. So you are now choosing for yourself that this is the life that I want to live, not that you were forced into it or you were lured into it, right? Education helps you to just sift that out. So in following up with the people who are victims of this, the government needs to do more. I like the advice that you just gave about the airlines, but it's not the airlines that would enforce this sort of thing because they need to make money. They are thinking of, we need more people to travel and all of that, and they make their money. But if government now insists that anybody who you pick from this country to any other country, you must have a way to help them if there is a problem, that's where they can. You know that when you're coming as an airline to Nigeria, this is the law. We must be able to stand and define who we are as Nigerians. There are other countries where you travel in, you can't do certain things. You can't chew gum in Singapore. Hey, it's known everywhere. But here, we just allow things, do business, sign anything.
We certainly have to do better. I have to wrap
get
up
people
because
to
we have
treat us
to
anyhow.
Go ahead, Nima. Say the complicity on the part of the Emirati government. Their people accept this as a way.
Yes.
They are used to slavery. They see the black race lesser than them. So whatever is happening in that area where they are populated, they will mind their business. They will patronize and say that is their fate. That should be something we must find a way to, address as a nation.
Absolutely.
In their relations with us, it must be addressed. Why would this happen and the police would just, walk by and allow it to happen for long?
Let me just take a few steps from Dr. Engineer Tijani. He says that our young ladies are great assets to this country, and we must do everything humanly possible to shield them from criminals who have lost the humanity in them. We equally need stringent punishment to deter these traffickers, and we must have the political will to do so. I cherish the courage of Blessing Tunde to open up to help other young girls instead of keeping silent after such a traumatic experience. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, we have to run. Unfortunately, we don't have any more time. That's all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Wow.
Love the hair. I got the style. It's the same.